A Russian referendum is coming up at the 1st of July, and even though the result itself is not in question, there are a lot of important news coming out leading up to the day of the vote. A reform to the Russian political system is about to be passed, and the most important and interesting change is one that would allow President Putin to remain in office until 2036. President Putin's approval numbers have been taking a bit of a hit lately during the pandemic, so the timing of the vote is a little suspicious to say the least. So in today's video we will take a look at Putin's chances of actually successfully changing the laws permitting him to remain president for 1.5 decades more. Alright, so leading up to the referendum in the beginning of July, a great amount of amendments are being made to the Russian basic constitution. This article goes into some of them, including the very important one that will keep Putin in power for a long time. Russia referendum, all you need to know on the vote that could see Putin stay in power until 2036. Russia is set to hold a July 1st referendum that could see President Vladimir Putin stay in power until 2036. The vote would be over whether to accept constitution changes that would allow Putin to run for another 2 presidential terms. The proposed changes to the country's 1993 constitution were revealed in January and backed by Russia's parliament, the State Duma, in March. So this law has been underway for 6 months now, and the State Duma said that they wouldn't actually implement the law unless it gained a high support level from the people. However, with the dropping approval numbers of President Vladimir Putin, it looks like they kind of just forgot about that comment a little bit and passed it anyways. So the article goes on to talk about the most important changes in the constitution. There are around 200 amendments proposed to the constitution, even though Putin has traditionally been opposed to changes, experts say. The scale of the reform was absolutely surprising, said Nikolai Petrov, a senior research fellow for the Russia and Eurasia program at Chatham House in London. Many of the reforms involve transforming the political system in a way which will make Putin's position comfortable enough to not be opposed by any other strong institutions, Petrov added. The most consequential change would allow Putin to run for 2 more 6-year terms after the end of his second presidential term in 2024. It resets the terms for Putin but would not apply to future presidents. Now, isn't that just convenient? The changed laws will only apply to Putin and not to other future presidents. So you might be wondering, why are they doing a referendum about a law that has already been passed? Well, that's a good question. So let's read on what the article says. It's of course just a symbolic referendum, and since the Russian electoral system is known for widespread falsifications, the result is preordained whatever the public thinks, said Sergei Radchenko, a Cold War historian and the director of Cardiff University's School of Law and Politics. Russia's State Duma already approved the changes to the constitution in March, but passed a law that said they needed popular support. The importance of the referendum is that it provides a veneer of legitimacy for a constitutional change that would reset Putin's presidential terms, allowing him to run again in 2024, said Cardiff University's Radchenko. So, it looks like Putin will be president at least until 2036. I know, no one really expected him to step down, but this does confirm it. So to be fair, there are not a lot of polls out there about President Putin's popularity numbers that you can actually trust because they mostly come from Russia. But the ones that have been done independently seems to have President Putin in a really high favorability. He does really seem to be liked by the people. Now granted, it is easier to be liked by the people if you have a state-run news agency, but that's a minor detail. Remember to subscribe to the channel if you liked the video. I really appreciate you taking the time to watch it all the way till the end. So thank you very much, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.